Hello, sharpshooters. You know why I say sharpshooters? Because in trading you have to be sharp. You have to be bright, alert. You don't drink. No alcohol. Trading and alcohol don't mix very well. Uh, you need plenty of sleep. You need plenty of alone time. Oh boy, do I get alone time because I'm a lone wolf. And you need to sacrifice a lot, like relationships, things like that. Because if you're going to do this properly, you're going to have to spend the time. Now, I have been working all my life, as you know. I don't think manual trading is the way to go, especially now with fast computers. I mean, I have extremely fast computers. And I've also said that most of the systems in use now are rehacks of things that were invented basically in the 30s and 50s. So whenever you see these forums that are giving away free things and making let's make an indicator together, that creates cacophony. I don't believe in that at all. I don't think it's this is capitalism. I mean, you have to fight banks, you have to fight everybody, you have to fight hedge funds, you have to fight very, very nasty manipulators. You have to fight people that will get your money. 95% of traders lose. Not because they're bad, because brokers, because banks, because a lot of people have systems against you, even if you're very, very good. Imagine how stressful it is for you to spend, you say you're going to be free, leave your house, leave your job, start trading. And that's how it was in the beginning. That's how a lot of these people sell you these really expensive programs to teach you a method. Maybe the method's okay. Maybe it sounds good. Maybe the guy looks good. Maybe I should put myself up because in my previous life, I was a model. Can you believe it? Model to banker. Thanks to my dad, because in high school I started modeling, and it's a very competitive field, but I was making a lot of money. And my dad just made me stop. He came to my, I was in boarding school. He came to my school and he said, my headmaster, if I see my son once more in any posters or pictures, I mean, I had a contract with Levi's. Uh, you know, you're gonna get in big trouble. So I was stopped immediately, and I studied finance for about 7 years, and worked in banking for 20 years, as you know. So I guess which caused me a lot of problems because you go into most people in trading are very ugly. You know they are a lot of pretty girls running around. Most of the guys are really ugly because usually when you're smart, you're ugly or can't be both. So imagine, I got teased a lot in the beginning because I was the best dressed guy, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'm arrogant. Of course, you have to be arrogant. Otherwise, how are you going to be a top trader and work in top firms like, Credit Suisse? I was told every day I was going to be fired if I didn't stay in the top. And I stayed there 15 years and I left of my own accord. So, well, no, I stayed 9 years in Credit Suisse. And I was 15 years in the city before I just broke down and said, I'm doing this by myself. And I tried the manual trading, right? They go to the manual trading. And I mean, this horrible feeling that you must get in your stomach, like when you take a position, you go long in the morning, and at the time I was doing futures and the leverage was really high, and you had swaps, and it was just not as easy as now. You didn't have iPhones and things like that, and you're sitting around with this anguish, like almost praying to God, please let this trade go through. If I go back to those days, and I've made a living off trading since '01. Uh, if I go back to those days, it's just horrendous. I'm so glad I have my system, which very not a lot of people are following at the moment, I guess, given by the if I look at my membership, well, I take out about 400 or 500 people every couple of months. So I guess can't look at the numbers because a lot of them are just BS people that just demoralize me. and I only want positive people around me. But you know, look at this system here. You got it here. You can see two things. See here? It says sell, and here it says buy. Right? The other machine's done that for me. This is my Renko system, which I'm not selling, but I'm giving to my best clients. There's about 100 people on Twitter. And it's not because I don't have a lot of followers. It's because I want 100 people. You know how many people I refuse every day? You'd be surprised. So I'm not looking for 58,000. And let me tell you two things. If somebody hasn't gone to university, studied finance, if somebody hasn't worked in the top banks, and I mean the top banks, I mean Credit Suisse, I mean Deutsche Bank, I mean JP Morgan, I mean Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs, you have to interview with every partner to get in. I mean, you know, I had a young friend, I didn't know she'd gone to Harvard, and she'd come from Goldman Sachs and joined our firm. I mean, this is an amazing thing. And she was so modest about it. She never talked about it. She never knew. I knew her for years. I didn't know she'd gone to Harvard. I found out one day by accident. This is the kind of people you want to listen to. Okay? Yeah, I went to a top university. I won't even tell you which one. I have an MBA. And these self-made people, I just do not believe in it. I do not believe that you turn around all of a sudden sitting in there's one guy and he's making a hell of a lot of money. And I'll admit he's very good at presenting things. And he's opened my eyes to a few things. I mean, you know, he's good with people. But how's he making his money? He's making his money selling his system. Let's not fool ourselves. All these authors, all that, they've discovered the secret, which they won't say, is that they make more money by selling systems and selling than actually trading. Now, I show my trading with all its faults, and that's why I get all demoralized by the people saying, blah, 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 blah. You've got a signal right now, which is, for some people, ask me, what the hell is a signal? Signal is basically a little fund you start on MT4, and you can copy the trades. And, I have them regularly. I sell some out. Some of them go private because I've got big shareholders in them that just don't want everybody in them anymore. So I shut them down, they go private, etc. Some of them go wrong, not many. I have never blown up an account. There's no anybody show me an account that I've blown up, and it's public, and you can see it. You can see my performance. You can see what I did this week. You can see that I did really well on Thursday, and it's basically when the biggest mistake I make now, even though I have a talent, is going in and making my own goddamn trades, not letting my machine, my BBSO, which is the best system in the world, and I'll repeat it again, look at my video, my legacy, everything, it's the best system in the world, and when I start making my own trades, I mess up. Now, either I'm losing my touch, which is what happened to George Soros for a while. I had to get Anthony Robbins, nobody knows this, to get him to get his mojo back. I mean, traders do that. I don't have to worry about that if I put my machine on. So all I have to do is put in my head, put on your goddamn BBSO, and you'll be okay. You have to act like an operator also. You have to do some work. You can't just, I have 5 robots, but I have to manage them. So it keeps you busy. I mean, you have to do some work. You have to, use like some neural systems to find the best pairs, things like that. Okay, this is my neural system. See, it's found the best pairs. If I run it now. There you go. It's going to go. See, it's doing the self-optimization, which is exactly a simulation of what my robot does. And it's going to go through every pair that I've put in there. I can even put the Dow, the DAX, gold, cryptos, anything you want, and it'll rank them. And it'll tell me which pairs to use, okay? Now, this is something you have to do some work, okay? But my pretension, my theory is you cannot last in trading without having a machine do it for you. So you have to put, this is what I've done. I've put my 11 rules I used to have up on the wall, and I've put them in a machine, and it's taken me years and years and years and years to get it right. So some understand that, some don't. Some use it for a couple of days, say it's losing money. Some use it for a month, say it's losing money. Maybe the optimization's gone wrong. Maybe the computer's not fast enough. I mean, you need a pretty good processor because it's doing quite a lot of work. There's all sorts of reasons it can happen. But in my case, look at the cube. Okay, you look at Thursday. Okay, and it's saying my drawdown is dangerous, so you can't subscribe. You know, I don't really care if people subscribe or not. I'm trying to show my performance. Okay. And I'm going to be on an exchange soon. I keep on saying that, but it's going to happen. I want it to be perfect because it's going to be run only by machines. And I have to get in my mind to stop doing my own positions in these kind of signals. And now I have an account personally where it's just a robot working, and that does very well for me. And I won't get into details, but I can tell you that I haven't had a paying job since '01. So everything I've made is from trading. And if you can see it's not from selling robots either. Would be nice if more people bought my system, given that I've explained it. You know, not that I haven't given anything free. I've got 160 videos, and you can completely determine almost, except the self-optimization, which nobody will be able to do. That's too bad for you. And the way I enter and all that, that's all very secret. But you can kind of figure, and there's so many imitations. I mean, there's robots that have been #1 that was based completely on my system. It's just the way it's marketed. I don't have time for that. I could put my pretty face up, make a nice video. I mean, there's this guy running around and with Rolls Royce, like doing the yo thing. I got the Rolls Royce, I got the laptop. I'm making a fortune. You can too. Yo, yo, yo. What the hell's going on? And this guy's got more followers than me. you know. So let's go back to the best machine in the world. Right now, you can see it self-optimizing. I'll repeat again. This hasn't found anything yet. It's going to be working at about 3,000 bars. And then it'll give you entry points here automatically. It has 2 filters, 20, 25 ways to enter, thousands and thousands of lines of code. I have about 5 different versions that I will share with my top 100 people sometimes or not, because I don't know. I share with people. The more I share, the more people get frustrated because some of them are pretty complicated to use. But I have the MT5, which is my best system. It's plug and play. It's worth every penny, and I'm not going to lower the price. It's gone. It was sold for a long time, over $1,000, and it was the #1 robot, which means people realize the value. It's $500 now because it's been a few years, but the system hasn't changed. There's nothing to change. This will always work. This will work in 20 years. When I'm dead, in 40 years, people will pick up the system and use it again because it's a reversal to the mean. You always, in nature, reverse to the mean. You go outside the Bell distribution curve on the wings, and you reverse to the mean. The trouble is, you have to have perfect curve fitting. You have to have exact. You have to find those wings. They have to be exact, and the market changes all the time, and you don't want to worry about news and things like that. So you need to continually adapt. I call it self-optimization, self-adaptation, and this occurs every hour. And in different types of markets, like very dead markets like now, the low time frames, I shouldn't give that away. The low time frames are the ones to use, and in other markets, sometimes it's 4 and 1 hour time frames. But you can see that I have 80% success rate, and Friday I took out money. So yeah, my system says drawdown is dangerous, but that's another problem with MT4. My drawdown is dangerous because it's 32%. 30% is their cutoff. Well, who says that? I mean, drawdown is basically, it's margin. You got 10,000 margin and 50% drawdown. what do you prefer? What is